Get a cup of coffee, guys. Get a cup of coffee. Calm down. Seriously. Calm down. All right. I know. I'll stop the screaming. That might have been a little over the top. Okay. No! The Russians just shot one of our drones down, or drowned it, or hit it, or collided with it, or smacked it, or whatever. Guys, can I put a shout out right now for noblegoldinvestment.com? Because we're at war and we are in a recession. Two things the government doesn't want you to know, but it's only a matter of time until the cracks start to show. And do you know who will get hit the most, honestly? You. That's why you need to protect yourself, your family, because things will get worse. Fortunately, Noble Gold Investments is here to help you. Thank God. You've worked too hard to build up your savings and your investments to see it all just crushed to bits, and the financial fallout from these wars and the trade tariffs and the sanctions that are bound to happen. Gold and silver from Noble Gold Investments are real possessions in times like these. Knowing that you're outside the system when it all goes wrong is a great feeling, and a surefire way to keep your money safe for your retirement is a precious metals IRA. Noble Gold Investments has been helping people like you to keep their money safe for years. And this month, they're giving away a beautiful Gold Eagle bullion coin, 1/4 of an ounce, with every qualifying IRA that's $50,000 or more or higher. You get this for free. Guys, don't get trampled. Get in line. Get ready, okay? Go to www.noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Tell them Pastor Paul Begley sent you if you call the number at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Tell them Pastor Paul Begley sent you there. All right, guys, it's serious now. Now, you knew it was coming. We've been telling you that the Russians are not going to go away. I've been saying it. Mike from around the world told us that the Russians would invade Ukraine back in 2014 when they first took over Crimea. He said the Russians are here to stay. They'll never leave until they take it all. Well, it looks like anybody that gets in the Russians' way, they are going to get in a conflict. You knew that the United States and Russia eventually heads were going to collide. Russia warns. Russia warns the United States about continued support for Ukraine by downing their MQ-9 Reaper, which is a unmanned drone plane over the Black Sea. Don't be confused. The alleged collision between Russia's Su-27 jet fighter, which is this thing right here, and the MQ-9 Reaper drone was not an accident. Russia was sending an unmistakable message to Washington and its NATO allies. Russians' patience with NATO arming and prolonging this war with Ukraine is waning, and Russia is prepared to act against targets that enable attacks on Russian forces in Ukraine. You knew it was coming. The drone in question was an MQ-9 Reaper, not a Global Hawk. While the Reaper can carry a combat load, it is highly likely this one was just configured only to do ISR missions or intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. The reaction of the United States Department of Defense is predictable and actually weak. Oh boy. Putin hurt the feelings of the general heckler and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. The United States was just minding its own business, flying over top of the Black Sea. And Putin and his plane went flying and cutting in front of it, and then dumping tons of fuel on it, and then circling back and doing it again, and then eventually clipping the propeller, which then took this drone down. It was not an accident. It was absolutely aggressive maneuvers, but we know that the Russians have been aggressive out there with American planes, not just over the Black Sea, but in a lot of places. And guess what? The United States have been just as aggressive toward the Russians also. Don't think we haven't. There's been several close calls and near misses and aggressive maneuvering that's been going on between the United States and Russia for some time now, especially over the last year. Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, he admitted that today in that press conference. I just watched it. And the General Milley also admitted that there's no question that there's been very close encounters, a lot of heckling, if you will, a lot of maneuvering, a lot of things been taking place, and that he said the Russians have been doing this quite often, and that they've been reckless, and that they've been actually, doing some very dangerous maneuvers, and not just toward our drones, but actually toward some of our fighter jets. Look, here's the deal. Russia is playing for keeps. Putin is playing a world-class chess game and has been, and I've been saying that, and you guys know that. While the United States still looks like we're playing checkers. And here's the thing about it. We look pretty weak. We let them take our drone down and we did not respond. Nor does it look like we're going to. And you say, well, Paul, do you want a war? No. But you have to respond equally or a little more than the other side. You can't just shrug your shoulders and says, well, at least there was nothing, they can't, it fell in 4,000 and 5,000 feet of water, and it's pretty well destroyed anyway, and we're not that worried, and we got some ships, some of our allies have got ships in the area, and they can help us maybe recover some of this, and the Russians shouldn't be doing this, and we're telling them they need, we've been on the phone with them and talking to them. Basically, what we're saying is two things. One, the United States is not going to take the bait, and number two, we look like if this was to try to get us to engage with them, we're not going to. And there we go with the prodding. Putin is tired of the bear being poked. He is going to start smacking back. And I don't see a response. And that's important. What does that mean? Well, that means that Russia, in their mind, feels like, okay, so you guys are going to keep supplying, Ukraine with all of these missile defense systems and, tanks and rockets and missiles and different sophisticated equipment, but you're not going to step in and get involved. We've just knocked one of your drones out, and you're not going to do anything. That means you are not fully committed, and we see that you're not going to respond. This gives the Russians an ideal of how far they can push, folks. They are testing the waters. Very interesting. And this is a very, yes, that's a real jet in there, and that's a Russian. Okay, you're looking at, I believe that's a Russian jet. I just better check that. Pretty sure that is. I'll double check that. I could be wrong. One thing's for sure, just a pick. One thing's for sure, the drone that we had knocked out, that's not the drone. The drone that we had knocked out was very sophisticated, actually. It's a surveillance drone, but it could also carry a payload on it. It could actually be used as a weapon. We're saying we didn't have any weapons on it. Now, I'm still waiting for Putin to respond. I'm sure that he's just going to say, look, because this happened in international waters. We were not over Russian airspace. We were in legal international waters. Yes, it's the Black Sea. Yes, Russia don't like us that close, but it's not like the Russians don't fly over Alaskan airspace from time to time. It's not like the Russians don't even get close and engage, and we haven't had some very close calls over in the Middle East and in some other places. So this is getting very serious. What I'm trying to say is, when you start talking about the Six Trumpet War, you start talking about Russia and the United States or China starting to engage. Now we have our first, Russia draws first blood here by knocking one of our sophisticated drone crafts out of the air. It's starting. Where does it go from here? Where does it go from here? And you wonder what Trump would have done if he was still in office. I don't think he would have just sent his guys out to basically talk, but say, it's nothing lost here. This wasn't that big a deal. We didn't have anything sophisticated on here. We're not worried about it. We can't really get it. Basically, what we're saying is no response. We're really not going to respond to this. And that's a big deal because the Russians were checking to see if we would respond. The Russians are probing to see how far can they go, can they push as it relates to this. And so it's dangerous. It's a dangerous time, guys. Tensions are high, but we are backing off. This is what Russia saw. So this was an Su-27. That's what they used, an Su-27 fighter jet, which is what I believe is over my shoulder here. And what they did is they flew it in, and they cut off in front of the drone and dumped a ton of fuel on it. And then they kept doing that, and then they finally clipped the propeller and knocked it to where it could not be controlled and had to crash into the Black Sea. So very dangerous situation we're in right now. I think all of us need to pray and need to recognize that this is a time like we've not had before. We are living in these end times. We're living in dangerous times. And I just ask everybody to pray. This is what the Bible said was coming, though. Clip the propeller. Yep, they clipped the propeller of the drone, and then that lost its ability to fly. And they tried to drown it out by dumping a lot of fuel on it. They were doing all kinds of maneuvers to it, even though this was in international airspace. It was not in Russian airspace. So I think Mike around the world did say that. You're right, Tony, you're right. Mike said, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to do something stupid. Somebody's going to engage. Something's going to take place. Accidents happen out there. I'm not saying that this was an accident. I think Russia purposely meant to test the waters, to see just how far they can push. So it was very interesting what's taking place here. It's very, very interesting. I'll be right back after this song. It's very interesting. That's if I can play a song. I always I forget, what I'm doing sometimes. It's called PBT. I never even had my mic on. I didn't even have my mic on, guys. Get your tickets for the cataclysmic.
I'm so scared for this crooked generation. You even find faith in the earth when you bring down revelation. Forgive us now the sins of our youth.
Are you serious?
Worshiping the idols that knew everything but the truth. Teach us how to uncorrupt our minds. Show us now while we still have the time. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We abandon everything to follow you, our King.
much will we see before the fire falls? Lord, could this really be the last altar call? We need your blood over the doorpost of our hearts. Anoint us with your fiery love as the praise and worship starts. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the streets. Oh, we abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the streets. We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the street. We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the street. That's on our album, Harmonize and Prophesied, written by Israel Hall. And of course, Israel helps me sing that one. And it's really a great song. Boy, if it ever was a time that things are getting very prophetic, it's now. And guys, get your tickets now. Cataclysmic Apocalypse. Get your tickets for this webinar. We've got a great lineup of speakers. Stan Deo, Stephen Ben Danoon, Mike from around the world, Marshall Masters, Mark Wages of Wages World, Bart Begley with his powerful documentary. I'll be bringing a presentation as well, and we've got another speaker yet to be added there any time now. Go right now to Eventbrite. There it is on the screen. Go to Eventbrite. If you just go to eventbrite.com, you'll look up Cataclysmic Apocalypse tickets. You'll find it. Get your ticket today. Guys, it's going to be powerful. It's next Friday, the 24th. So we're only, 9 days away? We're only 9 days away? What? We're only 9 days away from this webinar, and it is incredible webinar. Incredible. And look at the atmospheric river that hit California. 6 times they've been hit with the atmospheric river. 17 feet of snow. And then you had Cyclone Freddy going across the Indian Ocean. You had the earthquake that hit Turkey, 50,000 people dead. You have the volcanoes erupting. You have the water levels increasing. You have the wobble of the poles. You see the sun exploding with solar flares and plumes and fumes and ash and plasma eruptions. And you have all these things that are taking place. And not just that, but the incoming asteroids and the waves. Today is March 15th, the Ides of March. This is the day that Mike said that this energy coming from the backside, he called it, from underneath, is hitting our solar system, hitting it today. We'll probably see the effects of that in the next 48 to 72 hours. We'll be asking Mike about it tomorrow night. There may already be some type of reaction by the time Mike comes on tomorrow night. So you don't want to miss tomorrow night's show. Starts at 9 p.m. Eastern with Mike from around the world. And so, guys, seriously, things are really heating up now. And so I want you to know this is the fifth wave, the fifth event of the 17 events that are, according to Mike, are going to hit the earth this year, 2023. This is number 5. This one, they don't know what to think of this one because it's coming from a different direction, from a different, apparently a different source of some sort, whether it was a supernova or whatever it was, I don't know. And they don't know what it's going to do to the sun. They don't know what's going to do to the earth or the other planets. But this is the Ides of March. This is March 15th. So this is going to be very interesting to get this information. It's getting crazy right now. Of course, with the banks, the Great Reset, the stock market was down again today. It's still down 300 or 400 points. I noticed that the stock market was down to 31,600 at one point today. If you look at the 23 apocalyptic points for this year, one of the things was that I really feel that we're going to see the stock market dip under 30,000 before the year is over. And maybe that's all part of this great reset, but these banks are starting to fail, like the Silicon Valley Bank and the Signature Bank. And there's some more banks now that are really teetering. And they're not just American banks. There's some banks also in Switzerland. There's a bank in Switzerland that's in trouble. There's a couple banks in England. There's still some other. So there's some serious problems. So we just got to pray. We got to be ready. Get your tickets, guys. Cataclysmic Apocalypse. Get your cataclysmic tickets today. Go to Eventbrite. And before the day is over, I just talked to the web designer. You'll be able to buy your tickets at my website before the day is over. They're not there yet. It's not on there yet, but it should be. He said it will be before the day is over. But right now, you can go ahead and get your tickets. Go to Eventbrite and get your tickets now. Let's not wait till the last second, guys. You can, but I would rather you get out ahead of it. Get your tickets now. Don't miss it. Get the ticket. Are you serious? Click it. Get the ticket and be ready for this webinar Friday, March 24th. On cataclysmic apocalypse. And according to Stephen Ben-Noon, he's going to fry your mind with information he got with the meetings he had in Washington about the 17 incoming asteroids information. And of course, Marshall Masters. Did I mention him? Marshall Masters. He said that the U.S. Geological Survey has been lying to us. They have not been giving us the true number, and he's got the proof. He's going to show it. He's going to prove it. And Mike from around the world said he has new information he's going to show you that's never been seen. It's because it's the time we're in. We ain't got time to wait around. We ain't got time to mess around. We don't have time to mess around. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Click it. Get the ticket. The webinar. I'll be back, guys, with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy in a little bit. So please, get focused. Are you serious? We're in the last days. The end of days.